It discusses the topic of reliability of the scientific literature and suggests the possibility that because of the way it's organised, industrial research may be more reproducible than academic research. There are a couple of current issues with the literature. One is the level of retractions, which has dramatically increased in recent years. That's getting a fair amount of attention, both from scientists and from the mass media, and that's not my topic here. What I've written about is a more insidious and potentially even more serious problem, centering around the nature of reproducibility of the scientific literature. There have been a couple of studies in the last year or so indicating that a large fraction of leading papers published in cancer research is not reproducible. The analyses were done in drug research labs where there's perhaps growing scepticism about the quality of published literature. Well, one is the sheer complexity of the systems under study. And of course, biological systems are inherently very heterogeneous. But beyond that, the research management system is geared towards generating a non-reproducible literature. There are career incentives to produce breakthroughs in academia. That translates into a pressure to cherry pick what data get published. And most journals don't want to know about negative results anyway. So a lot of potentially valuable information that might be in conflict with the so-called breakthroughs is simply lost. The reward system in academia is really geared towards fields moving forward very quickly, which is great on the face of it, but it's not so great if a lot of the work is not reproducible and ultimately is not correct. Then it isn't really science, it's something else. One interesting approach is called the Reproducibility Initiative, which Elizabeth Irons talked about in last month's issue of the Analytical Scientist. It's a system whereby scientists can have the reproducibility of their findings validated by an independent lab. Of course, there are time and cost penalties. It's not a free lunch, but it's one approach to building the confidence in the published data. If analytical science isn't reproducible, then it's nothing. So it's therefore possible that there are common practices in analytical science labs that could help deal with the issues in labs in other fields. Industrial labs too might have something to offer. Scientists in industry don't have the same pressures as their colleagues in academia. Reproducibility is likely to get far more attention in industry since ultimately customers need reliable products and services. So I'd be very interested in seeing a comparison of the reproducibility of research from academia and industrial settings. And my guess is that by this measure, industry will come out on top. I chose to be deliberately contentious in the title of the editorial by suggesting that industrial research is the new gold standard. What I was really aiming at was to get people interested and debating the topic.